1090 AM, WILD, a Radio 1 station, is doing their part to measure the movement. Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network proudly presents Measuring the Movement, a TV1 special presentation hosted and moderated by Tom Joyner from the Tom Joyner Morning Show and Roland Martin from TV1's Washington Watch, live from New York. And now, time to measure the movement, courtesy of TV1.
1090 AM WILD here in Boston is the only African-American radio station that is representative of what the Reverend Al Sharpton, Tom Joyner, and Roland Martin and others are putting together to measure the movement, to inform you, educate you, empower you, and preparing for a movement plan for the Black agenda.
Hey folks, welcome back to the First Corinthian Baptist Church in Harlem, where we continue our discussion on an action plan to advance the Black agenda. Action requires a commitment to action, and we're going to get to those in a minute. But first, Tom, you have some comments from the web?
Okay, from blackamericaweb.com, investing in black-owned banks is a must. They are called community banks for a reason. That's one. Here's another one. Do you see a trend in Hollywood for celebrating black men who are feminized, like Miss J on Tyra Banks and Tyler Perry in a dress? Where are the strong black male models in media?
All right, good questions there. Now, in this particular point, I want to go to Reverend Sharpton, but again, in this panel here, 1 second, folks, quiet down. In this panel here, we're dealing with specifics. And so to all the panelists we're going to, I need to hear a specific commitment from you. Not what other folks should be doing, but what you are going to do and work with. Reverend Sharpton, make your point.
Specifically, again, as I've said and Speaker Mary said, with National Action Network on this banking situation, when they talk about banks, part of it, I agree with Warren Ballentine, we must have our communities do that, including our churches. But we, National Action Network, will specifically address city, state, and federal agencies to put our taxpayer dollars there. Secondly, we're going to be working with Reverend Al Sampson and the black farmers. We need to deal with the whole farmers issue to develop our farms, to develop those that were ripped off. That is an economic base in our community that is economically viable. So we specifically, aside from the 6 states, we're going to deal with black banks in terms of municipal, state, federal government, and the black farms. That's specific.
Real quick, Congressman Clyburn, they've come to an agreement on the settlement. When is Congress going to approve the money, the $1 billion plus, for the black farmers?
I do believe it'll be within the next 30 days. What we've decided.
So you need people to call White House members of Congress to press them on this issue.
We make house calls too.
Okay, Congressman Clyburn.
I do believe that the Pickford case, Edna Colbert, not just the black farmers, but the Native American farmers, we think all that will be wrapped into this next jobs bill, and we will pay for it all together. All right, specific
commitments when it comes to family. Leslie, then Mark.
NAFIO is committed to ending the cradle-to-prison pipeline and channeling a cradle-to-college and career pathway by establishing opportunity access academies on and around HBCUs. The academies will target African-American boys, get them into 10th grade, take them through 12th grade and into college. Something happens to the African-American boy between the classroom and getting home.
You're trying to create how many over the next 12 months, and what do you need to get it done?
In the next 12 months, we're trying to do 10 pilots, and we need for everyone within the sound of my voice to call NAFIO first or email NAFIO at www.nafeo.org and help me to talk to Chairman Miller in the United States Congress in the Elementary and Secondary Education Act to pass opportunity academies, residential opportunity academies on or around HBCU centers.
The National Urban League is going to expand its effort to provide job training for formerly incarcerated African American men. We are going to take an initiative called the Urban Youth Empowerment Program and add 10 to 15 sites within the next 12 months. Because part of reunifying the family is giving men dignity through work, and then they can do a better job to support their obligations.
Congressman Clyburn.
Let me sound 2 warnings. I believe in HBCUs. I'm a graduate of one. But let me tell you something. We are losing our kids right around the 7th grade. before they ever get to an HBCU. And we talk about elementary and secondary. Elementary 1 through 6, secondary 9 through 12. But at 7th and 8th grade is where we're losing them, and we have got to zero in on that. And that's what we're trying to do with this legislation.
Al Dotson, 100 black men.
Real quick, ages 8 to 18 is our focus. We're going to continue to work with you and Tom and others who want to raise the number of mentors. Our focus has continued to be getting 1 million mentors in our communities. Number 2.
So you want to get 1 million mentors. How many do you have now?
1 million mentors. We're working with Susan Taylor and other organizations. We have
National
about
Cares Project.
500,000 mentors.
So you got 500,000 now. You need 500,000 more.
We're going to double it. Second, on the schools, we also recognize the importance of having schools. We have schools here in New York and around the country. We're launching new charter schools. About 5 more at the Eagle Academy here.
Okay. Okay. That's his specific. You have yours. Jeff Johnson. Use his microphone.
Number 1, the first thing I'm going to do is do a better job of raising Miles, Madison, and Malcolm, my 3 kids.
All right.
Second thing, I've started the Jeff Johnson Institute for Urban Development, which gives me the ability to work on my own to do some things. The first thing I want to do is partner with churches to do a Doors of the Churches Are Open project. On the days that you don't have anything in your church, how can we help you identify a small check to keep the lights on, and then partner with 4 and nonprofit organizations to do tutoring, mentoring in the church on the days that it's closed. Number 2, I want to working with people like with Phaedra, with Green for All, and with brothers from Chicago to take those that are in gangs and begin to prepare them to do green jobs and understand the green economy. And last but not least, we want to do a project to work over the next 3 years to increase the number of black male teachers at the secondary level by 10%. We got to work over 3 years to recruit them, to train them, and to support them. Those are 3 tangible things.
So your church piece, start with the ministers who are right here. Real quick, Dr. Dyson, before I go to town.
Yeah, the Economist just did a story, I don't know if you saw it last week, where it said that the over-incarceration of black men, the disproportionate concentration in black Latino communities has led to women having problems finding marriageable mates.
All right,
first thing we want to do, first thing we want to keep brothers out of prison so women can get married. Number 2, HBCU should also stand for helping black children up. If you help them in terms of the 5th, 6th, 7th grade, then they can go to Miss Baskerville and talk about being there. Thirdly, I'm going to be with Susan Taylor on National Cares Mentoring Movement. And then finally, if you help lift the aspirations of young black kids, you ain't got to worry. Their pants will follow. Lift their dreams first, and then the pants will follow.
All right, Tom, you got a comment?
To get a gun than it is for them to get a job. We need people to catch these boys at an early age and put them to work.
And that's,
she says, I've created a lawn service in my neighborhood that employs 22 boys ages 11 to 14.
And that's why, first of all, we talked about the mentoring project and others. All right, folks, we're going to a break. We come back. We're going to close this thing out, but also you have the commitment to make yourself. We'll get to that in a moment.
Stay tuned for more of Measuring the Movement, and stay with NewsTalk 1090 AM WILD Boston, where information is power.